Good Lord, this is more like it. I have just spent 5 hours in sensory deprivation, in a cramped grey building with endless grey corridors and then a grey aeroplane. And you get here and it's like a release for the spirit. This is a glorious, colourful cathedral. Terminal 4 of Madrid Barajas Airport is a true megastructure. 1.2 kilometers long, 1 million square meters in area, €1 billion budget. An entire river was diverted to make room for it. It was the biggest construction project in Europe. If that wavy bamboo roof reminds you of the Welsh Assembly, it's because this is by the same architect, one of Britain's most renowned, Lord Rogers, this time working with Spanish practice STEADYCAM. Bold colour choices have definitely been making a comeback in architecture recently. Here, Rogers has cracked open every can of paint in the shop. Now that is pure Jaffa orange juice, that one is that's Seville marmalade, and the one beyond is Kia Ora squash. Do you know, if I were an architect and I had a kilometre-long building, the cheapest, the easiest way of bringing some vitality to the space is by applying colour, and lots of it, changing the colour all the way down the building so that it creates a sort of colour narrative. Oh, look, that's the colour of sunny delight. You know, very often, the worst bit of an airport is baggage reclaim, which takes place in some dark, underground, jam-packed space. Here, however, although I'm deep inside the building, it's spacious and airy, and it is naturally lit. Sun floods through what the architects call canyons, deep gorges that plunge to the bottom of the building. These also help break the terminal into distinct zones. After arrival, you cross a bridge. You cross another one after passport control. From these bridges, you can get your bearings, as well as dramatic views. The airport brings a sense of occasion and romance back to travel. The soaring spaces and elegant engineering mean it's closer to the great Victorian railway stations than the hell of Heathrow. And despite all the crossing flows of movement here, travelling through this airport is a remarkably straightforward and calm experience. Do you know, ever since I got off that plane, it feels like I've more or less been travelling in a straight line, unlike the journey through those incomprehensible labyrinths in most British airports. And look, here's the arrivals hall. Madrid beckons. The new Terminal 4 is actually quite a simple structure. It uses a kit of standard components which are endlessly repeated. It's really just an elaborate shed. In some ways, it's the culmination of the ultra-rational, high-tech style which Richard Rogers has developed over the past 40 years. Nothing is hidden. You can see what's holding the building up and together. Necessities like air vents are made the stars of the show rather than hidden away. But here, as at the Welsh Assembly, there's a new sensuality to Rogers' work. The forms have become more organic, even poetic. The good news for us in Britain is that the Richard Rogers Partnership are currently building this, Heathrow's new Terminal 5. The not-so-good news, the whole Spanish project was designed and built in less time than it took our new terminal just to get through the British planning process.
I mean, there is a tremendous cult of management in Britain. You get a situation where people are only interested in the immediate cost and not long-term value or environmental sustainability, except you have to do it for regulations and laws and so on. And you're always being asked to engineer out something, you know, like the overhang of a roof because you can save sixpence halfpenny. And really, you have to say the Welsh Assembly wasn't a dream job. It was a painful work. If somebody says, how about Madrid? Madrid is 1,000 times better. The people who ran it had 1,000 times better management and vision.
Heathrow Terminal 5 will finally open in 2008, nearly 20 years after Rogers won the job. And it's costing twice as much per square metre as Madrid. It's a shame that so many British clients don't commission work on this kind of scale, with this kind of imagination. We have some of the very best engineers and architects in Britain, and yet so much of their best work is abroad.